If this is the first time listening to us, welcome.
Welcome to our podcast.
Ooh, we're going to have a little fun today.
Yes.
So we didn't record a show because I got sick.
Mm-hmm.
So
a couple people got sick.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of blasted through our house.
Mm-hmm.
So I apologize for that.
Luckily, I didn't get sick.
Yeah. So today, because we're doing other research right now and we don't have that ready for you because we could just put the blame on me that I got sick. So we're going to do some random questions that we have here in a bowl.
Yep.
Random questions. But before we do that, let's talk about our community here for a second. We had a couple of things that occurred within our community. We had a fire right down the street from our house. Mm-hmm. Very concerning that happened since the last time we spoke to you. It was kind of devastating that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was seen all throughout, like in places where like miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just wild.
It was wild.
It affected a business, affected people's homes. So, and the community is still affected by it, trying to rebuild from it. Mm-hmm. And right now, because it's raining, they have, I think due to trying to keep mold stuff out, they have a tarp over parts of the building.
Yeah. And it was a car dealership. Mm-hmm. And triplex, is that what it was? And then it kind of shot off.
It went off to apartments, to the sides of some apartments. So yeah, it spread quickly.
Yeah.
And I think it was very lucky that they were able to get out because there was a lot of stuff in factor. And since it was a car dealership, a lot of cars are involved, which has gasoline, oil, all that kind of stuff that is flammable.
And toxic.
And then when you add water to that, you're spreading it. And so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on our last show, we did our last giveaway. So all of the people should have by now received all of their free merch from us. So we'll try and do that again probably in a month or so, depending on what we have going on. But we gave away 3.
Yes.
3. Yeah, that was awesome. That was fun, exciting. So this year, we kind of changed it up a little bit, right? And we're kind of going by, don't bitch about it, be about it, right? But we still stay true to our original mission about bringing our community together.
Yeah.
But a lot of you are new to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do some questions so you get to know us, right?
Right.
So she's the youngest. She gets to go first, but we both have to answer the question. Okay, we both have to answer the question. Don't look, just grab. Don't look, just grab.
And so I ask the question, and then do I answer first?
Do it. Yeah.
Okay. And then you go off of that. Okay.
Did
I only grab one?
You can only grab one.
No, I'm just making sure I grab one. Okay. What should we bring awareness to in the upcoming shows? So I'll show you. My opinion, something that I would like to bring awareness to is autistic humans. And my son is an autistic human. And I can just only share from my experience as a mother. Mm-hmm. But from other humans of what I learn and intake and bringing awareness of accepting these humans and not making them feel left out.
Yeah.
So that's something that I personally would like to bring awareness to our show.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
That's a tough one because I have a couple.
Right.
You know
I do too.
Mean?
Mine, that was just top of my list. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a couple of them, but over here, we have an issue with, not an issue. We have a community lack of understanding on homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to actually educate the public on the breakdown of a plan that would help understand and have a little bit more transparency on it. So it's not more like bring awareness, but having the understanding of actually the breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have that and you have an understanding on it, then the community can get involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. But I have a whole list, but that's just one.
Nice.
Okay, it's my turn. I'm going to have to put my old lady glasses on. Okay. Did I get one?
Yeah.
Why is the good food so expensive? Why is the good food so expensive?
That's a good question. I mean, that's a good question because I have that question. You answer first, girl.
I think it takes more. Okay. Do you want the real truth of what I think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's your opinion on why the good food is so expensive?
I think I'm going to say that the government pushes out the processed food and if there's a bigger corporation, if there's a bigger corporation with a lot of money, I mean, even though it's cheaper, they're still making money off of it, right? But us little independent people, let's say the farmer down the street, and they're having to pay people a wage to maintain crops, take care of the food, the rent, all of the things that come into as a small business person, and the fresh fruits and vegetables and all of that. That's why it's more expensive.
Nice.
In my opinion. What is yours?
I mean, I guess kind of similar. I have a belief that things that have a better impact on our health for the better is more expensive, like, because that's what I think of, like the good food for you. For one, and it's kind of like the sense of what you said, but like a little bit deeper, like if it is a food that is allowed through, like if it can be just made in a factory or a building, that's going to be able to be pushed more than something that has to be grown from the ground. And what's crazy about that is, because me, someone who does eat in, like, and some people may say it's snooty, but an organic way difference from a non-organic way is you will notice that there is more selective fruits and veggies for non-organic than organic. And that already is like an indicator for it's like, what's happening here. And it's because they genetically modify foods to keep them growing throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So basically, like, it's like a big answer for me, but like in the long run, I definitely think it's to keep the same people who are marginalized and poor in the same, not in that same way. Keep them sick, keep them unhealthy, keep begging back for the government.
Which sucks.
And it sucks because something that, to like bounce off of that with an answer, they are taking away or wanting to take away certain benefits for state funded things like WIC and all that kind of stuff. They're wanting to cut fruits and vegetable amounts for people who, like, families, like, you get a certain amount every month to pay for fruit. They want to cut that amount down. And I'm like, wouldn't we want to increase it because it's already pretty low? And that's for a month. And if you think about it, they most likely want to cut it down to where people are only going to get $9-10 for fruits and veggies. That ain't shit. I'm telling you, because I pay $15 for 6 apples.
It's crazy.
So it's just those
And
things.
if you think about it, if you buy an apple tree, if you were to purchase an apple tree, how much out of your pocket would you spend for that apple tree?
To put into that apple tree? And
To put into it, to develop it?
Probably way cheaper than how much we pay for the actual. But it's also, you got to have that patience.
Yeah.
Because you will find out that it's not something that you will have access to all throughout the year.
Right.
It'll be something that is when it's in season. And then you'll have to go through the fruits and veggies that are within that season and just have to deal with it. And that's how things were back in the day. And now we have genetically modified food.
I know, it's just scary.
So yeah, that was a good question, but good topic. And we talk about foods all the time. So that was a good one. So good question.
Let's go to the next one.
I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. Okay. Feels okay. Yeah, it feels like okay. I'm going to do this way. We have a music and talk show. Also, which episode did you have fun creating? So, which music and talk show was like my favorite? Probably it's like probably gonna sound like selfish, but like I really like talking about my musical interests of like personally like the music I listen to. So I liked the one when we were like pulling from our playlist. So not the last one, but the one before that. So like the one where it says pulling from our playlist, because then that's how I feel like people would really, if you come from What the F is Ladylike's podcast and you go and listen to our music and talk, you'll get a little taste of our music. And I do use music as therapy. And so you'll probably get to know us a little better with our music.
I gotta say,
what's yours? Yeah.
I mean, I love the Pacific Northwest ones and all of that.
Yeah.
But I actually really liked our Pride.
Yeah.
It was fun creating the Pride because we just didn't select. We actually took in mind like what our listeners, that one was, we didn't ask the listeners for help, but typically people give us advice.
Yeah.
But that one was really fun at the time that Jewel and I created that show. That's my favorite show.
That was a good one. It definitely, things that were happening and I mean still continuously happening to this day. It was just so impactful.
Yeah.
With the songs that we brought attention to and stuff and the meanings behind them. And someone who we talk about quite a bit and we say this song didn't get enough attention is Morgan's Modern Man. And the music video is beautiful and the song is beautiful. And yeah, that was a really good episode for Music and Talk.
Okay, it's next question. What have we done this past year that we have improved on with our community? That would mean what the F is Ladylike. What have we improved on with our community? I feel like there's multiple answers that I have in my head for this. I feel like we have actively gotten involved on those that we support, such as Josh Larson, going to that community. But we have also made it a point to practice kindness and execute that on an everyday basis. You know, our main mission for What the F is Ladylike is to build a community. Whether the community is, you know, supporting other people or actively practicing what we preach on our show on an everyday basis. And I feel like we've made those steps this year to execute that stuff, even down to, those that are suffering within our community, and supporting, let's say, the 6 women that got murdered. We went with the families.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Something that I would say, I mean, it wouldn't just be something, it'd be kind of like multiple, is like kind of like what we said, like our motto is like, don't bitch about it, be about it. So something that we have said to each other over and over again is these topics that are important to us, until these topics or these communities or anything actually gets resolved, we're not going to shut up about it. And so I think hugely like advocacy and always putting it in people's faces of what is going on. And because sometimes things that are still it won't get reported in the news all the time. It's not
Right.
going to get media. So the things that we are strongly passionate about and the communities that we are involved with, we try to talk about it over and over and over again, share it on our platforms, bring awareness to it, talk about it within our personal like community with like other podcasters and all this other stuff. And, other podcasters that are here in Portland, we talk about like what's going on here, and like we communicate with each other and try and get on the same page and all that kind of stuff. So it's like just always constant, like, I guess not shutting up about it.
Right.
Until like stuff actually gets done.
And Jewel and I are pretty active in like, we may not promote a lot of times other people's podcasts, but we actually do have relationships with other people's podcasts, even though we don't take away from what they're talking about. But we chit chat about it, you know. And the one person that I really wish was back in our community was Jesse Sponberg, and I'm not going to stop until he's back into our community. Yeah. But I mean, we talk to him still, even though he's doing great stuff.
And something that we are, and it's like you touch base on, and it is like getting more involved in our homeless community and what we can do and everything. And also getting products that these people could use, and finding places to donate.
Right.
Not just having an unorganized thing. We're trying to organize it and
make sure it's to the appropriate people.
Right. We're trying to execute it right. But I feel like a huge thing that we have started this year is, maybe some people are annoyed of us, but we've said it. We're going to keep shoving it in people's faces of these issues that keep happening and occurring with these communities, and what we can do as a community to try and better it. You know what I mean? We're never going to stop doing that.
Right.
So just know that about us.
Right.
Next question. Upside down. What was your favorite episode we did? Like a regular podcast? Ooh. Oh. Hold on, I gotta think for a second. Favorite episode that we have done.
We've done so many.
I know.
So those of you that don't know us, this is our second year going on third. So we have quite a few episodes.
Honestly, like there's one, like couple, but it's kind of like in the beginning, when we were discovering stuff about food and like the baby foods. Mm-hmm. That one just always sticks out to me. So that's probably it's literally one of my favorite episodes.
I think it's
when we discovered and like recorded all of this stuff
Yeah.
backing up what we were like. We were actually the ones investigating and figuring it out for ourselves. And it wasn't just like stuff that we saw in a video.
No.
We did it and we tested it ourselves. So to me, and the same thing with like the makeup stuff and like that, but that one for me, because of what came out of it, it was just wild. Like that sticks out to me.
And we contributed to the baby food coming off the shelves.
Yeah, yep. And like the oatmeal and the rice cereal, all that. Yeah. So that sticks out to me.
Yeah, that's a big one. I really liked, in the beginning when we started our podcast, we didn't have our sound down.
I was like, are we just talking shit about ourselves right now and we're just talking about the beginning? Like we've become shit.
We've become shit.
No, we haven't. No.
But in the beginning, we didn't really have, our sound really sucked. And, we tried to improve since then.
Yeah.
But our very first social media.
Oh, talking about social media
was awesome. And then we had to re-record it.
Oh my gosh, I know. And
it's like unplayed footage. That was like the episode, and then we had to re-record it.
Well, and something that we don't like to do. We're not actors. We're not. Whatever you see is what you're getting first. Sometimes we fumble on words and we'll redo and say the word, but we're not going to redo a whole fucking show.
Right?
Because that's like our real raw reactions, our conversations we have. And it was just like,
so what ended up happening during that show is our sound ended up being really crappy, but we ended up still putting it out there. And even though our sound was crappy, the point of the show was very impactful because a lot of people didn't know at that time that we were talking about it.
Well, and now it's shared all over
the place.
Where it's like, they got our data.
Yeah, but then when we were recording it, people were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, even now, to this day, tell them about when Zuckerberg was in front of the...
Yeah, so like when he was in court and everything, and this guy is sitting there, and it sounds like, and like everybody's laughing because it sounds like jokeful, like playful. But this guy's asking him, he's like, oh, would you like to share with everybody the hotel you stayed with last night? And he's like, no, sir. No, I wouldn't. And he'd be like, oh, would you want to share with everybody your personal messages and text messages with your fellow other people? He's like, no, I would not share that publicly, blah, blah, blah. And basically, he's like, all right, then the problem is like, in the sense, he was basically saying like your privacy is more important than everybody else's privacy. And like, because that was the stuff with Facebook where they got in trouble. They were... yeah.
But a long story short, even down to the opening of that, I think we had Jesse Spomberg. We had the gentleman that did the food for the people that needed food. And they did this thing, like Google it and social media, and Brendan turned it into a song. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good old times. It
was also, we were bringing awareness of like, because everybody's like social media, yeah. But we were bringing the dark side of it.
Yeah, and how the teenagers struggle.
And I was talking about like my experience when I was a teenager, and like you didn't have that as a teenager.
No.
So it was just like, but you had like the magazines and tablets and stuff like that. So it was like we were talking about all different.
Yeah.
It was good. That's a good one.
It was a good one.
Yeah. Is mine? Or is it
your
yours?
turn? I think it's your turn. That was me, right? No? Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Oh, shnikes. This is what happened at old age. What would you do to change? What would you change in our community that would make a difference? I'm just done. What would I do? What I want to do and what I can actually do are two different things, right? Mm-hmm. What can I do? I actually want to bring awareness to sex trafficking. And I want to figure out how to support I want to make that difference somehow.
I agree with you on that.
And
like, I want to like second that, you know?
yeah, I really am passionate about that. And
I really think that the justice system needs to stop making them feel guilty and charging them.
Yeah.
When they come and find them, or it's like they get out of it or whatever, they get charged for things like prostitution or whatever the fuck they charge them with, sex charges and all this stuff. It's like, have a heart and think of them. And like, it wasn't a chosen lifestyle. And I definitely think there needs to be more compassion going into it. And bouncing off social media, it's like, if we can have all of this stuff on social media, like literally people accessing, following, there's literally, it's people's jobs to track people's data, track what people are doing, what people are watching. Like, it is literally people's jobs. So it's wild to me, and it always is, when we talk about the sex trafficking, all counts of sex trafficking, women, children, men, everything. I don't understand how it happens online when we have all of this access to all of this stuff, and yet we can take down people's posts. We can do all this stuff, which sure, people do post fucked up shit. So it's like, these people are doing fucked up shit. How are we taking them down for the fucked up shit they're doing? Mm-hmm. It's just wild to me. Well, that's why I just had to go off of what you were saying.
Yeah. Well, some people didn't choose that lifestyle.
Right.
And are trying to run away from it.
Yep.
And I really want to try and get involved within that community of trying to we take little baby steps, but we're not really fully there. You know, we need to figure out, you know, don't bitch about it, be about it. We need to make a difference within that.
and it because people don't want to think about it this way, but it like circles back to it, like it's like a whole system, it's a whole thing. So it's like, if you going back to government and the stuff that they like take away for benefits for people with like low income and all this stuff. Imagine single moms, because it's more common than you know. Single moms with children, and yet their benefits are getting taken away, less. Where do you think some of these single mothers turn to try to survive for their children? I'm a mother, and I would do about anything. Like, if I didn't have what I had, I would do anything to make sure my kids had whatever they needed, always. And so that's where it's like, you have to have that compassion, that sympathy, because they're not even getting help from our own government, their own country. So it's like the community needs to really support them.
So you agree with me on the same, or would you?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to, I agree with you on that, but I have another thing for, it was, what would you change in our community, make a difference? I would change some things about school.
Tell me a little bit more about that. It's really hard, because everybody will say it, like, public school system is like a very difficult thing to go through. But I, for one, think it's not okay that the staff isn't sharing all the things that happen with your child every day, and your child comes home and they say they report it to staff and an adult, but yet you don't hear about it. I don't like that. Anything that happens to my kid that you hear about it, bullying, physical contact of harm to my child, I would like to know that. And so that is one thing that I think is super bad within at least my child's school district. Mm-hmm. And I think I've heard it with a lot of people's districts, is, why am I hearing it from my child and they're coming to you over and over and over again? They're going to stop coming to you at some point if you don't sit there and defend them and help them and act like somebody who can protect them. Right.
When they are at school, I'm trusting you with my child's life, with my child's mental health, everything.
Right.
And so something that I've had to take in within my own hands is taking my child to and from school, because a lot of bullying was happening on the bus, and there was this window of I can't do anything about it because it's happening on the bus, so it's not the school's problem. That it was needing to talk to the transportation and all this stuff and and it was freaking bananas ridiculous. And so I think, I mean, that's one thing within the school, but also they, again, are wanting to take away free lunches for low income families who can't fucking afford. There was a case, I'm telling you, they're going to try and bring it here. There was a case in a different state where low income students had, amounts due on their lunches, right? As it happens. And there was a day where staff came in and threw away all their food because they had funds that they needed to pay. And so it's like, what the fuck?
Didn't something occur in your daughter's classroom last year where the teachers didn't have enough snacks or something like that?
Yeah. So this is like really scary too. It's also like it also shouldn't be the teacher's responsibility. Teachers don't get paid enough. Right. Just saying. Teachers don't get paid shit. So, but what was said, it was needed a lot. They needed a lot of support from parents. Because if you didn't bring a snack for your child, it was in the hands of if there was either a snack there from the teacher or donated from fellow other parents and other things, stuff like that. So it came down to it where we were getting a message where it was like, oh, we don't have snacks for everybody. So if comes down to it, it was like, we're not going to have snack time anymore. And I was like, what? We're not going to have snack time anymore. And so me and Simon, my partner, we kicked in gear. We're like, we're going to eat snacks. We're going to eat snacks. I think you got some snacks.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting snacks. These kids are
that
getting
school
snacks.
had snacks.
We were like, we're getting snacks. It's just like, I don't understand how basic needs for children and anybody, but specifically fucking innocent children, how we're taking that away and not able to give them access to that. So that type of thing, I think school systems need to be more of a safe haven for kids. More so, like, some people have horrible homes. People go to these schools for safe havens, be that for them. And to eat, probably. So it's kind of like a little bit of everything. Bullying, the food, all that kind of stuff. Staff.
And that should be important, man. Your children should be top priority. Yep.
So that's within my specific community that I'm like, and I've gotten involved. I'm getting involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Wait, is it my turn?
It's your turn, girl.
Bluey. We're going to hear Bluey in the background. Bluey is such a good show. What has to be broken before you use it? Chopsticks? I mean, sometimes you have them put together and you have to break them before you use them. But that's like the first thing that came to my mind. But let me think for a second. What has to be broken before you use it? What has to be broken? Is this like a trick question? What has to be broken? Your heart? Sorry.
I don't know. You may not use it again.
What has to be broken before you use it again? I'm still going with the chopsticks because I break them apart.
Well, there's so many things, right?
What's yours, girl? What's yours? Because I get this first thing.
I mean, glow stick.
You go with glow stick?
Eggs.
Oh my God.
Banana.
Wow. You thought more of a lot of things than I did.
Let's see. What else? The government. I'm just kidding.
What has to be broken
I'm just
before
kidding.
You use it?
Don't come after me.
I mean,
it could be multiple things, guys.
I mean, some shoes, you have to like technically break them in, but that's not broken. You're not breaking it. Fuck, what do you have to break? Oh, well, Some people make art with that like glass stuff. They break it and put it into pieces, but I don't remember what that's called.
There's many answers to that question. Makes you think though, right?
Yeah, but like I feel like there is like a good answer, and I just haven't come up with it. What has to be? I mean, a bottle, like a can, has to be broken. Psh.
Yeah, I can.
There you go. Okay, I thought of something better than chopsticks. Jeez. It's just because Emma uses chopsticks so much, so I'm always breaking or that's what comes to my mind.
A package. No, well, I guess you wouldn't use it though. Yeah.
Oh, like those hand warmers, you like
Yeah,
break
you
them.
break them and then they turn heat.
Just that.
Okay, so we are smart, right?
Who?
Talk about UFOs or aliens. I do believe in extraterrestrial beings, but I do think that the government does
Takes these backsies.
not just takes these backsies, but I think that there's a repeating pattern of when something is going on that they want to distract you. It's okay for UFOs and aliens to be right up in front of the news because that's a repeating pattern in history that I've noticed. And so what they'll do is they'll use that as a tool to try and distract you. Now, do I really believe in UFOs and aliens? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Anybody would be not thinking correctly, right? If you have a whole universe and we're the only ones in it. Now, does an alien have to be like this, like E.T.? No. It could be a bug. It could be anything. What do you think?
So I want to know, is it like my thoughts? Is what you say? What? Talk about. Okay,
Yeah.
talk about. See, and like when you talk about like the universe, all that kind of stuff, people aren't ready for that because then that's like people who strongly believe in like God's creation of a person. And like, I'm like,
It's in the Bible. Aliens are in the Bible.
right. But what I'm saying is like, they're always saying that like God created whatever, blah, blah. No, I made my child. Like I remember it all.
Beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, specifically, extraterrestrials.
And
Definitely.
just for the record, Jewel likes to, anybody that's new to our show, she doesn't like the word aliens. She likes extra.
Well, because like, I mean, if I ever get to meet one, or if I ever have, I don't want to be rude or derogatory. I feel like alien is a mean term towards them. And extraterrestrial just seems more cooler. Like, extraterrestrial means like, what is it? I'm going to look it up, right?
She's going to look it up. She's not even going to even talk about it. Well, she is talking about it.
Extraterrestrial. Oh my gosh. Definition. I just need definition. It's giving me a movie, guys. Did you know that there was a movie?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know there was.
Yes.
Not E.T. I'm not talking about E.T. I'm talking about, there's a movie called Extraterrestrial.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Extraterrestrials refers to an object or being beyond the planet Earth, terrestrial. It is derived from the Latin words extra, outside, and earthly. So they're not from this earth.
When do you think that extraterrestrial was like documented in history?
You're talking about like the movie?
It's probably, no.
Oh.
Talk about the word, man. You know what I mean?
That's the whole thing that people don't want to understand. Like,
Yeah.
all words are made up.
Yep.
Somewhere
down the line.
guys. Yeah, in Extraterrestrial, it was 2014. Wow, I didn't even know it was a movie. Fun fact, guys, this movie. I thought you were straight up going E.T. I was like, no, E.T. I know E.T. Just one of M's faves. But like, I definitely my thoughts on it is I definitely think it's like, I don't want to know. Don't quote me. Like, I'm not for sure. This is just my thoughts, okay? I think that there's people or extraterrestrials that are like watching us, like learning about us. But these extraterrestrial beings, I think they're better than us. Like, that's how like negatively I think about our kind, because we've done shit to this planet. And so I definitely think when certain things happen, they're always watching, wondering, what the fuck
like,
are you guys
what
doing?
in the fuck are they doing?
Well, seriously, because like when you think about it biggerly and like about like the bigger other universes and all, I really think, this is like, people are gonna be like, Julie, you're crazy, but like I really believe that there is some sort of like, not copy but similar, somewhat planet in a different universe or something that is similar to us, whereas life they're working doing, but it's like a different type of thing. But whatever is going on there is, they're doing great. Like, their planet's not gonna like die. Our planet's dying. So like, and that's the stuff I want to learn more about. And like, that's why we always talk, if they are here, I always let it be known I'm approachable. Come beam me up. Like, I'm ready to go.
Just don't mess with me. Just don't mess with me.
Don't like, I'm not a project, so don't like test me. If you have questions, I will give you all of it.
She's gonna spill the tea, man. She's gonna go, this is what happened.
And I'll be like, these are the people you need to target.
Yeah, these are the ones.
These are the ones that need to go. Just saying. I mean, I don't know. I just, it's just stuff more that's developing, you know?
Well, let's see what the last question is.
Oh, last question of the day. Oh, you went there. Oh my God. I even think I specifically was like, we're not going to talk about this. Do you think we went to the moon? Okay. My honest opinion, we're talking about the OG original, right? To the first time, the OG original, like, did we go to the moon? That iconic one, right? We're talking about that, right?
I don't even know where it went.
Right here. Do you think we went to the moon? Like is this at any point in time till today? Or are
way
you
back when?
Or you're talking about a specific time point back in the day?
Do you think that we went to the moon back in the day?
That time, the first whatever notion? No, I don't. I strongly believe no. Do I believe that we have stuff now that makes us to where we can go out to space and do all that kind of stuff? But I feel like it is actually really hard and hard to approach the moon. It's harder than what people want to think. I think people think that it's something that you could just come out and you're able to go to the moon. And I don't think it's that easy. That's my opinion. So, no, I don't think that they did land on the moon that first ever. And the whole dramatic thing that was on TV, all that kind of stuff, it just, when you and I don't want to sound like conspiracy, but when you go through it and you think about the times of all that kind of stuff, and it just seems not real.
I mean, I think that they went to go to the moon. I don't think it went down the way.
Do you think they reached the moon?
I think they came close. I don't think that they landed on the moon. I think that they went and tried, and I don't think that the footage that we have seen, because of the way technology was back then, I don't think that's what was occurring. But I think that they did go to attempt to go on the moon, and I feel like they found something when they orbited the moon. I don't think that they actually landed.
Yeah, I feel like whatever footage that was released is phony. Like,
yeah, it's pretty cheesy.
Played up acting.
Yeah. Well, only because you're taught like, you know, the pull, like with the moon and the ocean, and you're taught all of this. So when you actually see the footage, it doesn't make sense in your brain.
Well, and to me, because it wasn't that long ago, I could just look it up if we really want to talk about it for a hot second. But it was just a little bit ago that they were trying to go to the moon, and I think it was some other country. Maybe I think it was Russia, and their craft, and I believe it had people on it. They couldn't make it to the moon. And so we've learned more about the moon with stuff with like oceans and like our ocean and all that kind of stuff. So it's, to me, if there is a reason why we've stopped discovering things in the ocean, as in NASA stopped doing that. I'm not talking about other like scientists and stuff like that. There's other people that are still trying to discover. But there is so much, but we've been here for so long, but there's so much of undiscovered, we haven't gone there yet.
Right.
Why haven't we gone there yet? But yet we're still trying to like go out. But anyways, I tie the moon and the ocean together.
Together as one.
So to me, it's a little tricky, but yeah, if we're talking about first initiative, no. And like you said, I think maybe attempted, but I also don't even, because it's really hard for me to believe, because I don't know if you've ever seen a live takeoff from a rocket.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I haven't seen it live, but I've seen it.
It's so weird because the thing that comes out of it, it literally just looks like they go, bloop, bloop. It literally looks like, bloop, bloop. I'm like, where'd you go? And I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, I try to believe. I'm like, okay, I believe you guys. You're there. I believe you. But like, it's not mathing up. Like, why is it going like this? I don't know. I mean, and that is like, because I'm scared. I would never be the person to sign up to be like, yeah, like how some of these other freaking old rich people were like, yeah, let me just go out outer space and then come back down. Did you remember that? Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like just rich people were like, yeah, okay, Bezos, take us to outer space and back down.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So no, I don't know. I have my thoughts on that, and
yeah. So that was good.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys enjoyed this, we could
let us know, and we can do it again.
Give us your own questions too.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that we went to the moon?
Yeah, it's so funny because I was specifically like, oh, we're not going to be doing these questions. And that happened to be the last question. That's just so funny. That happened to be the universe is like, here you go.
Here you go. Throw it out there.
Yep.
Well, we are going to be getting busy on those topics that we had mentioned to you of what we really do want to dive into.
Stuff with our community.
Stuff with our community. And like our show started a couple years ago, we are going to make sure that we are making a difference and positivity within our community.
Yep.
So until next time, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jewel.
Peace. Our show is produced by us. Our theme song is by Come Back Karma. Don't forget to like and subscribe.